Welcome to Brand Builders TV. Deep dive topics, tools and resources brought to you by global thought leaders from within the Brand Builders Club. This show gives you access to the strategies that you can use to move forward with ease and flow in every area of your life and business. In today's show, Judith is going to share the 7 simple sounds that can liberate your life. Learn it, model it, and get shit done. Let's go.
Welcome to the final session, part 4 of Liberate Your Voice to Liberate Your Life. And, excuse me while I cough. So far in this series, we have had a look at your voice in different ways, how it impacts you. So part 1 was how your voice might be the thing that's holding you back in life and business. How not fully expressing yourself gets in the way of you being able to be you. And today we're going to come full circle to the 7 sounds that help release that stuff that you're hiding from other people. I've just done an amazing session with brand builder Carol Vinci, who there was a quote in the comments in the last section in part 3 where she was saying how the 2-day vocal confidence workshop she'd done with me, and now she's doing the 7 sounds online course with me to really delve into her stuff. She's like, the amazing ways that this work has helped her completely transform and change the way that she is connecting to who she is, so that she can talk about her business with a completely different energy and a completely different voice. So thank you hugely to Carol for that. And so that was part 1. Part 1 was how your voice might be the thing that's holding you back in life and business. Part 2 was how to ask for what you want and what you need. It's particularly great for people pleasers, and I have a lot of people pleasers as clients, so that you can say no without feeling guilty, so you can hear no without taking it personally. In part 3, we looked at unlocking the passion behind your purpose, so that people are in the energy of why they should listen to you, what it is that needs to be said, and so that you sound like you deserve to be heard. And all of this relates and comes to the 7 simple sounds that can completely liberate your life, not just your voice. So what are these sounds? I've spoken about it in the episodes before, and this is really what we're focusing on today, because this is the joy. Right? This is what you want to be doing. You want to be living your life, running your business. And if you're held back by energetic emotions, experiences from the past that either you've had or other people have experienced and you've witnessed them, or you've even imagined might happen, all of those experiences and feelings get trapped in your body. Bear with me just a second, for I am needing to make sure that I'm in the right place so that I can find any comments that are made. Oh, bear with me. This is just challenging. This is why I had my I had everything set up. There it is. Okay, I have found it so that I can see the comments elsewhere for the live version of this video. So what are the 7 simple sounds? The sounds are big. The sounds are important. The sounds are the sounds that get stuck in your voice. The sounds are the sounds that, when you step into who you really are, you have the ability to free this stuff from your past that has been going on for you. So the stuff from your past may well be 2 weeks ago. It's more likely to be your mid-childhood. So for example, most of my clients, the challenges that they have are from the age of 6 to 14, and most of the time the impact, the effects are something that happened at school. Occasionally it's family, but a lot of the time it's school, because that's where we spend most of our time and where we find the relationships, where we are finding our place in life. And those experiences, those emotions get stuck in your subconscious brain and your cell memory. So what would change for you if you could just say what you wanted to say without fear of the outcome? What would change for you if you were able to express yourself clearly? If you were able to express yourself with more confidence, with a voice that carried more conviction or gravitas, with an energy that, whether people agreed with you or not, they feel and know that you are being true to yourself? What would change for you if you were able to not worry about what other people think of you when you speak, or not worry about the possibilities of the things that might go wrong, but instead you have the ability, and it's not easy, I'm not saying that this is easy, I sometimes still find it challenging to say some stuff, but I have the tools and I've opened myself up through using these 7 simple sounds so that I can connect to what needs to be said, to what's really true, connected to that higher purpose that we talked about in part 3, and go, you know what, if this helps one person look at something from a different perspective and change the way and start their communicating and start speaking up for themselves, that is worth it. So what would change for you if you were able to do that? If you were able to let go of the worries, the fears, the uncertainties, the little voices in your head, the patterns of your past, the relationships from your family, the truth that you've been holding on to, which very often isn't true. And these are all the things that get stuck in our body and in our subconscious mind, but we hold them as truths. But actually, when you start working with your voice, you'll realize with your voice vibration as a physical entity, where is stuck. So I've worked with several clients whose voice is limited to this amount of space. And the reason is that when we start talking about their patterns and who they are, and we say, okay, so where does it physically, I always work from the physical first. So the 7 simple sounds have their own vibration, but we carry that physically in our body. So I say, okay, so physically, when you go to speak about emotions, for example, when something gets emotional, I worked with a client recently who is a celebrant, and they found it really difficult at funerals to be reading poems, particularly about parents, without all the emotions coming up and without feeling like they're having to hold all their emotions down, and then they knew that their voice sounded tense and maybe didn't carry the warmth that they needed to, because all the emotions that were here were emotions that were stuck in them from their relationship to their parents. So this is how your voice is a reflection of every experience, emotion you've ever had, imagined or witnessed. Because when something triggers those emotions, we create tension in our body. And working with the sounds is a way of recognizing physically where those tensions are. So say your voice, you never feel any vibration. You can play with sound, but it's like you get to hear and everything goes, nope, thank you very much. It's like, okay, so what is here? Either your whole body is full up with emotions and it's just like, no, I'm going to put a plug in here so that it doesn't all come spilling out. Or maybe there's something in your heart that is so close to your throat, so close to your communication. You know, when something's really important to you and you feel your throat closing up and the tears and you get that pain here because you just can't express it. So what is it you're holding that's stopping you from fully expressing yourself? So to fully free your voice, you need to have an awareness. So you need to acknowledge what it is that's really holding you back. And most of the time, it is past experiences, very often to do with relationships in one way or another, whether they are familial, whether that is from school and friends, whether it's from colleagues or bosses. Very often it's teachers, and a teacher then becomes any authority figure. To be able to free your voice, you need to know, acknowledge, accept that stuff that you're still holding on to, even if you'd rather push it down, forget about it, or as one client who I had kept repeating, oh, I just cut that off. It's like, okay, that's good. And sometimes we can do that. And sometimes that's useful. But most of the time when we just cut it off, it's because we don't want to look at it. And if we don't want to look at it, it's often because it hurts us too much to look at it. And we don't want to feel the hurt, so we cut it off. But then we put a barrier, and putting a barrier to your emotions puts a barrier to your voice. Your voice is a reflection of your emotions. It's why acting is all about finding truth. And when you don't believe an actor, most of the time it'll be because you don't think they are truthful. And so our job as actors, which is what I did for 20 years before I came into this world, is to find the truth behind characters that are not us. And a lot of that truth is heard in the voice. So if you are not looking at, don't want to connect to emotions, don't want things to, you don't want to be too angry, you don't want to be too emotional as in teary. If you're hiding your pain, if you don't want to look at it, that's fine, you don't have to. But some of that will be restricting your voice. So the power of voice vibration sound healing is that it can help you be fully self-expressed. And today I'm going to guide you through a practical exercise to help connect you to your whole voice, introduce you to the 7 sounds, and give you a couple of the sounds that you can use to change your state. Right? So you don't have to do the deep work. The deep work is the most powerful because then you feel the freedom. It's why I say liberate your voice to liberate your life. Liberation is freedom. And at the moment there are chains holding back some of your ability to connect. And we don't want to look at it, and it's not about deliberately going through and reliving traumas. So this is why I have exercises that I'm going to share with you today that are really simple, that can change your state and also connect with your voice to help you have a little bit more resonance when you speak. So voice vibration sound healing is one of the tools that I use to do the deep work, but also for vocal warm-ups and for just allowing yourself to have more variety of tone. We did a little bit of this in one of the earlier episodes. But I want you now to really feel a connection. And here's the health and safety warning. Even doing this at a light level, sometimes sounding gently can be more impactful and goes deeper than sounding forcefully. Because if you're someone like me, you might not often be gentle with yourself, and allowing yourself to be gentle might hit the emotions of, oh, I need more of that, I need more nurturing. So be aware that however you're sounding, it might trigger emotions. That could be frustration, anger, tears. It could be laughter. It could be joy and delight, because your voice is a reflection of every emotion or experience you've ever had, imagined or witnessed. It doesn't have to be the bad ones. It's just those are the ones that tend to live closer to the surface. So you might find yourself smiling in delights and giggling. And you are in control of how deep this goes. So if it feels like you're hitting an emotion that you don't want to be connecting to, then stop and just go back to breath and change your focus. Right? So intention, and we spoke about this in the previous episode, intention is key. So intent is just as important as content. So when we were talking about speaking from the passion behind your purpose, your intent is just as important as your content, and it's the same with sound healing. So have your intention set for this exercise, I would suggest, as curiosity. I'm exploring to find the physical blocks. Which is why we work on the physical first, right? Physical, then the emotional, energetic, and mental come under that. So just place your hand on your upper chest, either hand, doesn't matter, and hum. Any note, any tone. You don't have to match mine. It's the joy of the voice vibration work. There's no right or wrong sound. And play around like that on a medium tone until you feel your chest vibrating. And you'll notice, if you then play, you'll notice how just by going up a little bit and down a little bit, you'll notice how the physical vibration goes lower on the lower tones and higher on the higher tones. If you're doing this and you are feeling vibration just in your nose or your lips or maybe the back of your neck and it's not coming down here, that may well be an indication that you've got an energetic or emotional blocks that are going, nope, thank you very much. We're carrying far too much here that I don't want you to get into. And that's okay. Just play with the vibration where it is. So, right, that one really tickles my lips. And then go, and you'll feel the vibration coming up into your nose or maybe into the top of your crown. So wherever you're at with this, just feel the physical shift of your vibration. And then you can do a siren. This is a great vocal warm-up for any situation. So it gets your voice expanded. And particularly if you are someone who is worried that you have a monotone voice. So by sirening, and then you can rev at either end, so down at the lower end if you want to open up your lower tones, if you want to have a bit more gravitas or a little bit more caring, because this is where our sharing and caring sounds come from. You can rev on the lower tones, like imagine you're a big Harley Davidson, so and if you want to open up your brighter, more engaged, more slightly, if you want to sound more excited about something and people say, oh, you say you're passionate about it, but I don't really hear it in your voice, you might want to rev up on the higher tones. That opens up the bright sounds in your voice. So playing on the siren. Now hopefully in doing this, and if you've just been watching for instructions now, you might want to press pause and then play it for yourself. What you'll feel, either physically because you'll feel the vibration stop, or vocally because you'll find somewhere that the sound just is difficult to make, you'll recognize where there are challenges, blocks, holdings, or slight tension that you might not have known was there, because your voice, either the vibration will stop or your voice will stop. So it might be and you're like, oh no, I can't hum there. Why can't I hum there? I can hum above it, I can hum below it, but I mean it is there, I'm demonstrating, so but sometimes if there's an energetic or emotional block, it means the sound just really doesn't want to come out. And a way to play with that is to go above the note or below the note, and the physical vibration of your voice will then resonate around the area that's held. And much like if you play a speaker loudly next to a glass of water, you'll see the ripples. Your voice is physical sound waves, is vibration. So it will gently be playing around the area and open up the area that is held. The sounds that we use relate to the different energy centers of the body and the emotions and experiences that tend to get held there. So the energy centers, or chakras if you like, tend to have an energetic focus. So for example, the heart holds on to the pain. The pain specifically are around love and feeling loved and feeling wanted, and The heart knows what it wants, right? We have so many heart-based phrases in our language. You know, I was heart sore. Okay? But the highest energy here is love, forgiveness, and compassion. But very often it's hard to speak when we're feeling that heart pain. It's very hard to express our emotions, to say what needs to be said. If, for example, you are really passionate about something, like that is down here in your belly, in your sacral center, and that is the center of passion, of both your physical connection to your body, but also your creativity and the things that, you know, if there's a fire in your belly, again, the words are in our language. But very often this can be connected to the anger passion, right? The frustration. And that's very close to the root energy center, which relates to the masculine. So that, again, those energies or emotions of anger, which tend to be related much more to the masculine energy. So do you allow yourself to feel that? And do you allow it to bubble up through you and be expressed? Or is that challenging? So the different areas of the body hold on to different energies, different emotions, different experiences. And that is where playing with these sounds and your voice vibration enables you to liberate your voice, because you're actually physically making sounds that maybe you couldn't before. And when I started doing this work, my voice had a lot less range than it does now, so I physically opened up my voice, but also emotionally opened up myself, got rid of a whole baggage of stuff that I really didn't need to be carrying anymore, so that I fill me now. Not past experience in me, not 3-year-old me, not 7-year-old me, not 12-year-old me, not 40-year-old me, not even 43-year-old me, right? But me now, 47-year-old me. I fill me in most circumstances. And this is why this is a really powerful tool, because human beings, our subconscious brain and our cell memory is always trying to keep us safe. So there are still situations sometimes that I go into that trigger my uncertainties, my insecurities, my imposter syndrome. It happened when I worked with the chair of the board of a bank back in February. It's like, who am I to work with the chair of the board of a bank and help her have a challenging conversation with the CEO of the bank? And your body starts going tight, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's not me. That's my fears. So let me sound those fears out. Let me connect to my higher purpose. Okay, this is me. This is the person I'm taking into that meeting with the chair of the board of a bank. So you can use these tools as a really practical, powerful tool in your toolkit to actually change your state, to acknowledge the fears, to release the fears, so that you can replace them with that passion and higher purpose we spoke about in the last episode, and go into whatever that situation is where you need to be speaking, whether it's a conversation or a presentation or a video, and you can have that situation in your present control, not past you control. So I've given you the warm-up exercise, and here are the 7 simple sounds. So there is the root energy center. That is in your hips and your pelvis. As I said, this is very often connected to the masculine. It's all around safety, security, stability, strength. And there may be situations and people that make you feel insecure, unsafe, unstable, a little bit weak, and like, oh no, I don't want to have, do I have to go in there? So sounding this sound, you can either, and this goes for all the sounds, you can choose to recognize the fears and by sounding them help them release. Or if you don't want to look at the painful stuff, if you're one of those people who's like, no, thank you very much, I've dealt with that, I've put it away and I don't want to look at it, you can set the intention to sound, to create more of the positive energy that you want. So that this I leave up to you. And the sound for the root is haw, on a deep note for you, whatever that is. Again, remember there's no right or wrong note for this. So the sound is haw, and you just repeat it, haw, haw, haw. You might notice there that I was playing with the sound, and in the last one it dropped down. It's like, oh, that's where it really sits today, because the sounds go into different places. And the way you use the tool is you repeat the sound. All of this is on the self-study online course that you can get, and it takes you through all of these sounds in more detail, but this is what is there. So you repeat the sound until you feel the emotions that you want to release, or until you feel, remember you've set your intention, until you feel stronger, safer. It's like, right, I'm drawing on that energy and I feel more grounded and present and I have more gravitas and I'm here and I deserve to be heard. Your sacral, which is in your belly, it's your internal reproductive organs. This is more the feminine energy. So this is about nurturing, and we are all held in our mother's wombs, and it's our internal reproductive organ space. So this is more the feminine energy, but also your passion and your creativity, whether that's the arts or whether that's creative thinking. So what situations or people challenge you in relation to that, or your mother relationship or female relationships, or again, depending on your intention, what creative things do you want to connect to? What do you want to connect to in relation to your passion? Do you want to be able to express that more? And the sound for that is who. So it's on a tone a little bit higher than the one before. So who. So you can set your intention there. We next come up to the solar plexus, which is this space here, just under where your rib cages go like this, and it's just here where your diaphragm connects. This is the energy of control and identity. So either are you someone whose life is completely out of control and it's chaotic and you just always go with the flow, right? And maybe you need a little bit more structure in your life so you can sound to create more structure. Or you might be a bit more like me, where you feel like, no, I need to control this, and you need to let go of having to control and allow flow. And also your identity. This is where all the labels from your past get stuck. They may have been true at one point and not useful anymore. They may never have been true, but you're holding on to them anyway. So this is where you allow yourself to let go of those. Or if you want to stick new labels on yourself, you can sound for the intention for that. And the sound is ho. So ho, ho, ho. And just keep repeating. In between each of these, if you want to play with them, just press pause and just go back and play with that sound. We come up to the heart, love, forgiveness and compassion, and be compassionate towards yourself. And remember, we can't come to compassion for other while we're blaming a circumstance or a person, and nor can we come to compassion for ourselves while we're blaming ourselves and holding guilt. So allowing yourself to sound your open heart on ha, ha, ha. And if there's one space that I would encourage you to feel comfortable speaking from, it would be this area, because this gives a warmth to your voice. The throat is the next one. This is the center of communication and truth. Very often that's related to speaking your truth, but also sometimes the truth that maybe you might be hiding from yourself. We open that on the greeting of hi. 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 The third eye is your intuition, your sixth sense, your second sight. If you're spiritual, this is where you sort of start opening up, listening to messages that you get from your senses. If you're not spiritual, don't worry about it. You still have intuition. It's just, you might call it your gut instinct. Right? So it's really listening to your senses, trusting yourself and trusting that you know what is right for you. So we open up the intuition on hey. Hey, hey. And again, you'll be feeling these, feel where the vibration shifts to physically. And you don't, if you can't hit the note, don't worry, just have the intention. And the last one is your crown, which is known as your spiritual connection. But again, if you're not spiritual, don't worry. I'm not going to turn you into a woo person. I'm not going to force crystal healing down your throat. That might make you choke. That would be bad. But so spiritual means connecting to your higher self. That's what it means to me. The version of you that exists without all the pain, without all the stuff you've been through. There's a version of you that is your pure essence of who you are. So when we open this area, you can connect to that. And if you do have a spiritual or religious or esoteric practice, this is where you open up to that spiritual connection and self. And that sound is he. So those are the 7 simple sounds. They're very simple, but the work they do can be very deep if you want to go there. If you feel like you might want to go there with me on any of the things I've spoken about in these episodes, whether it's about being more confident speaking, finding your true voice, having that challenging conversation, or if you want to do the deep work and go, you know what, I want to shed this rubbish I've been carrying around with me so that I can feel lighter and go through life as me, and that includes speaking freely and finding the confidence to have those conversations and managing my emotions, then please do feel free to reach out. Everything is at Your Whole Voice, and my website is yourwholevoice.com. It's been really lovely to be here with you, and if this is in a forum where you can tag me and ask me a question, feel free to do that, and I of course will answer. All I ask is that you start finding your true voice, letting go of the fears of what other people might think about you, so that you can talk about who you are and what you do from a place of the passion behind your purpose, with courage, with clarity, with conviction, because what you do will change lives. It might make someone's life easier. It might save someone's life. I don't know. But even the simplest of changes can make the biggest of differences. So when you start to really liberate your voice, you won't just liberate your life, but quite probably the lives of everyone else who you come in touch with. And that is the power of really building your brand. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future.
I hope that you've enjoyed the show today as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. If you've got anything out of this episode, please do tell someone else how they can subscribe to the Brand Builders TV channel at youtube.com/brandbuilderstv. Why not join us at our next Brand Builders Thinkubator, a global mastermind that we run every week to take away the loneliness of being in business on your own. For more information and to book your place, visit light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. That's light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. Until next time, be the ripple that you wish to see in the world, and we'll see you soon.